Hello. Our story for today is called Bootsie Barker Bites by Barbara Botner, illustrated by Peggy Rothman. And Peggy Rothman is actually a Caldecott Medal Award winner for her book that she illustrated called Officer Buckle and Gloria, which I believe we've actually read before. So if you don't remember that one, see if you can find a YouTube read aloud of Officer Buckle and Gloria. But this one is called Bootsie Barker Bites. And my first question right away is, looking at Bootsie here on the cover, what kind of person do you think she is? How do you think she is going to act throughout the story? So the message of this story is all about how to use your voice and how to stand up for yourself. If somebody's being mean to you or if somebody's being mean to somebody else, how can you stand up for them? So think about that as we continue to read this book. Bootsie Barker Bites. My mother and Bootsie Barker's mother are best friends. When Mrs. Barker comes to visit, she always brings chocolate donuts, fresh strawberries, and Bootsie. First, we have a tea party. Then my mother tells Bootsie and me to play in my room. I try to get Bootsie interested in my book about turtles, but Bootsie hates turtles. Look at each girl in the photos here. And what do you notice about them? How are they different? What can you tell right away about how they're different? You're a turtle, howls Bootsie, and I'm a turtle-eating dinosaur. How does what Bootsie is doing upset this other girl? My mother calls, "Play nicely, girls." Bootsie yells, "We are." I can't yell anything. It's time for the Barkers to go home. "We'll be back tomorrow," says Mrs. Barker cheerfully. I tell my mother I don't like playing with Bootsie. My mother tells me I have to learn to get along with all kinds of people. I go to bed and dream that Mrs. Barker moves far away and takes Bootsie with her. But Mrs. Barker and Bootsie never go anywhere except the park and the grocery store. Do you think the girl's dream about Bootsie moving away is kind, or is it good? Is it bad? What do you think about her dream that Bootsie moves away somewhere else? And our house. "It's so nice you girls can be friends," said Mrs. Barker as Bootsie leads me to my room. I let Bootsie look at my pet salamander, Charlene. But Bootsie hates salamanders. "You're a salamander!" screams Bootsie, "and I'm a salamander-eating dinosaur!" Mrs. Barker knocks on the bedroom door. It's time for Bootsie to go home. "Tomorrow," says Bootsie, "you get to be a worm." What is Bootsie doing to this poor girl? And what do you think the girl can do to make Bootsie stop? That night, I dream that Bootsie accidentally falls off the edge of the world. I try to save her, but it's too late. In the morning, my mother says she has a wonderful surprise. Bootsie will be staying overnight at our house while her parents are in Chicago. How does the girl feel about this surprise that she wakes up to, and how do you know? I picture Charlene and me being rushed to the hospital with dinosaur bites. What awful things is the girl imagining right now? When my mother asks me what Bootsie and I would like for snacks, I can't stand it anymore. Bootsie Barker is a dinosaur, I shout, and she's planning to eat me alive! My mother looks surprised. Sweetheart, she says, tell Bootsie you don't want to play that game. I go to my room to think it over. Charlene and I spend the morning inventing a new game. The doorbell rings, and it's the Barkers dropping off Bootsie the dinosaur. Hello, little worm, says Bootsie. What do you think the new game is that the girl and her pet salamander has invented? I stand up and look Bootsie in the eye. Pardon me, Bootsie! I am not a worm. I am a paleontologist, and do you know what they do? They hunt for dinosaur bones. Would you like to play? What is the new game that she came up with? And how does Bootsie feel about it? Bootsie runs out the front door. She wants to go with her parents. Mrs. Barker says Bootsie will have more fun if she stays at our house. Bootsie throws a tantrum on the sidewalk. So Bootsie's parents take Bootsie to Chicago, which means I don't have to wish Bootsie takes a rocket to outer space. Although if she does, that would be fine with me. What do you think of the ending of this story? Talk about a time when you stuck up for yourself or when you stuck up for somebody else. The book uses the phrase, think it over, when the girl was going to go back to her room and think over what her mom said. So what does think it over mean? Pause the video and use think it over in a sentence. Why do you think Bootsie is so mean? And my last question is, what could the girl have done differently instead of scaring Bootsie back? What could she have done to solve the problem in a different way? Thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoyed the story.